It feels like Ford has really thought about how to value add with its app in the Ranger, rather than just translating passenger car technology into a vehicle with a different set of goals. Storage space around the cabin is plentiful. The central bin is deep, the door pockets have plenty of room, there are 2 cup holders on the transmission tunnel, and the slot beneath the dashboard is huge. The slot ahead of the gear selector is perfect for a large McDonald's fries, no chip crisis here. The extra pop-up glove box on the passenger side, it's not standard range-wide, is handy, while the overhead switch console on our tester, part of the premium pack, is a neat way to save owners who plan to add powered accessories from having to MacGyver their own switches into the cabin. Rear seat space is fine, but doesn't feel like much of a step on from what was previously on offer. Leg and headroom are both acceptable, and the bench is broad enough that 3 tradies will be able to travel on short journeys without wanting to kill each other afterwards. Anyone who wants to fit a child seat will need to be patient, though. As is the case in most of these dual cab utes, the fact the top tether point is up against the rear bulkhead makes it hard to attach a finicky seat anchor. The inclusion of air vents is good. The fact Ford has fitted a 12V slot but no USB ports on the rear of the transmission tunnel feels like a missed opportunity. The 12V is versatile when it comes to accessories, but you'll need to plug in a dongle to charge iPads back there. Along with the requisite ISOFIX and top tether child seat points, the Ranger features a fold-down central armrest, damp rear grab handles, and storage bins beneath the seat bases. Dual-cab Ranger models have a wider tub than before, billed as sufficient to flat stow a 1200mm x 800mm pallet. It's simple to access, with sturdy box steps fitted just behind the tires. The counterbalanced tailgate, with mounting points for vices and even a pre-drawn ruler, can be lifted with a finger. There are 6 tie-down hoops in the bed, and the box sides have structural attachment points for canopies pre-fitted. This Wildtrak X borrows its clever rack from the Platinum. When not in use, it looks the same as the sailplane on any other Ranger, but it can also be slid on tracks to the rear of the tray, where raising another pop-up part allows you to use it as a rack for carrying long items like kayaks in conjunction with the roof racks above the cabin. It's a neat solution to a problem I know a few dual-cab owners face, although it'll be interesting to see how the rack, and specifically its sliding rails, hold up to a lifetime of sand, dirt, rain, and sun. What's under the bonnet? The Ranger Wildtrak X is offered exclusively with the 2.0-liter bi-turbo 4-cylinder diesel engine which produces 150 kilowatts of power and 500 nanometers of torque, mated with a 10-speed automatic transmission. It's the first Ranger variant to require AdBlue in Australia. The Wildtrak X uses a full-time 4-wheel drive system with a 4A mode that can be used on pavement, instead of the part-time 4-wheel drive system found in all other Ranger bi-turbo variants. Unlike the off-road-oriented Raptor, the Wildtrak X maintains a 3,500 kg towing capacity and a 1,082 kg payload. The fuel tank holds 80 liters, and claimed fuel economy is 8.7 liters per 100 km on the combined cycle. We saw 9.9 liters per 100 km on a drive loop. How does the Ford Ranger drive? There's an immediate difference between the Wildtrak X and the regular Ranger on sealed roads. Its more off-road oriented suspension setup, combined with the all-terrain tires and their stiffer tread blocks, makes for a tighter ride over potholes and speed bumps when the tray is empty. Anyone who's driven the latest Raptor will be familiar with the feeling, which isn't uncomfortable or unrefined, it's just more purposeful. Much of the experience here is familiar. The steering is light and direct in the city, making what's a big ute easy to place in tight spaces, and the bi-turbo engine is refined by the standards of most diesel dual-cab utes. It starts with a bit of a clatter, but once it's warm you don't get too many unseemly noises or truckish sounds behind the wheel. Put your foot down and the 4-cylinder engine packs a punch that defies its 2.0-liter displacement. Put your foot down and, thanks to the 10-speed automatic's tightly spaced ratios, is rarely caught outside of its torque band. Although it can occasionally be a bit stilted, shuffling down 1, 2, 3 gears when you catch it napping, the updated 10-speed auto in the new Ranger is more decisive than before, which pays dividends when you're towing, especially in tow/haul mode. The smooth idle start/stop system makes a difference in the city, although plenty of owners will no doubt turn it off immediately. The extra height and width of the Wildtrak X relative to a normal Wildtrak doesn't make all that much of a difference in daily driving, meaning it's still a pretty easy ute to pilot in tight car parks or city streets. It's one of the easiest utes to pilot in town, and the electric power steering system feels more direct than before. In the old model you needed to twirl, and twirl the wheel some more at low speeds. The new model requires smaller inputs. At higher speeds, Where Ford expects the Wildtrak X to spend a chunk of its time, the wider track and more touring-focused suspension makes it feel more sure-footed without a load on board. Over the sort of crests and dips that have the standard car feeling a bit bouncy, the X does a better job controlling its weight. A common criticism of dual-cab utes is that they can't hide their commercial roots on rough roads. Although the Wildtrak X isn't quite an SUV with a tray, it does feel nicely settled by ute standards. Often, swapping road-oriented highway terrain tires for knob-blier rubber aimed at off-roading brings about a significant increase in road noise, but the X remains a quiet, composed cruiser. Ford's active driver assists are some of the best in the business. The lane-keeping assist keeps you between the white lines on the highway and holds the car nicely in its lane in tricky conditions, while the adaptive cruise control smartly maintains a gap to the car in front. They make this an easy car in which to cover long distances, while the blind spot monitoring system that can account for a trailer will be welcome for anyone who's coming to grips with a massive caravan. We'd suggest anyone buying a Wildtrak X will be interested in off-roading, but even if you're a first-timer, the Ranger's off-road technology is easy to approach. Any inputs to the off-road dials on the transmission tunnel bring clear, bright animations on the instrument cluster or central screen to keep less experienced drivers abreast of what's happening, and the four-wheel drive system switches modes quickly. Hill descent control keeps an iron grip on your momentum and doesn't grind or crunch like older systems, and the surround view camera allows you to leave the front camera on while you're off-roading, and presents a high-resolution view of the trail ahead featuring guidelines. What do you get? Equipment unique to the Wildtrak X includes 17-inch alloy wheels, general grabber at 3 all-terrain tires, Bilstein position-sensitive dampers with nitrogen-charged external reservoir, off-road grille with integrated LED lights, steel bash plate, cast aluminium side steps, black exterior highlights, Wildtrak X badging, matrix LED headlights, flexible rack system, 12.4-inch digital instrument cluster, B&O premium sound system, overhead auxiliary switch bank, leather accented upholstery with Myco suede, Terra suede dashboard, trail turn assist, trail control. That's atop the following equipment, which is standard on the Wildtrak: 8.0-inch digital instrument cluster, 10.1-inch Sync 4 portrait touchscreen infotainment system, 18-inch Boulder Gray alloy wheels, 18-inch Boulder Gray alloy spare wheel, Goodyear Wrangler all-terrain tires, unique Wildtrak sports bar, power tub roller shutter, cargo management system, unique Wildtrak front grille with mesh pattern and Boulder Gray accents, exterior side mirrors with puddle lamps and zone lighting, roof rails, aluminium load box tie-down rails, 12-inch touchscreen infotainment system, interior ambient lighting, pull-out dash-mounted cup holders, unique Wildtrak leather accented upholstery, heated front seats, 8-way electrically adjustable front seats, surround view camera, automated parking assist, dual zone climate control, satellite navigation, voice assistant, integrated trailer brake controller, leather-wrapped steering wheel, keyless entry with push-button start, electrochromatic mirror, rain-sensing window wipers, adaptive cruise control with lane centering and stop/go. Is the Ford Ranger safe? The Ford Ranger has a 5-star NCAP safety rating based on testing carried out in 2022. Category scores included 84% for adult occupant protection, 93% for child occupant protection, 74% for vulnerable road user protection, and 83% for safety assist. The 2024 Ford Ranger lineup comes standard with the following safety equipment: 9 airbags, including driver, passenger knee airbags, including front center airbag, autonomous emergency braking, AEB, car, pedestrian, cyclist detection, junction assist, adaptive cruise control, blind spot assist, rear cross traffic alert, pickup, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, road edge detection, reversing camera, pickup, rear parking sensors, pickup, trailer coverage, with optional tow pack, Ranger XLT adds, adaptive cruise control including stop/go, blind spot monitoring including trailer coverage, lane centering assist, traffic sign recognition, tire pressure monitoring. The optional touring pack adds a surround view camera, while stepping up to the Wildtrak and above adds the active park assist 2.0 system. How much does the Ford Ranger cost to run? The Ranger is covered by a 5-year, unlimited kilometer warranty, like the broader Ford range. Logbook servicing is required every 12 months or 15,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. The first 4 visits are capped at $329, which equals $1,316 for 4 years or 60,000 kilometers of maintenance.